All right, today we're going to do section 6, which is finding the general solution of triangles, which just means we're going to end up finding all of the parts of the triangle, not just one side like the previous sections have had you do. And so, remember when we talk about a triangle, it could be on any shape. I just do a general one like this, and then I'll label angles A, B, and C. Those are your angles. And does it matter where you put the A? No, it doesn't matter, right? I could have went A, B, C. But what does matter is that the side is opposite the angle. So little a will be opposite angle A, and little side B, little b, will represent, is going to be opposite angle B, and then side C is opposite angle C. So that part is what does matter. And then remember what we've been learning. We learned about law of sines, and that is sine of angle A over side A is equal to sine of angle B over side B, which is equal to sine of angle C over side C. Or depending on what's missing, if what you're missing and what you're trying to find is an angle, then I would use those ones. But if what you're missing is a side, these guys are equivalent of writing the side over sine of angle A. And that's equal to side B over sine of angle B. And that's equal to side C over sine of angle C. And these guys, using law of sines, was when you're either given angle, side, angle, or angle, angle, side, or the pain in your butt ones, side, side, angle. And remember that this one is the ambiguous case. It's the pain in your butt one. It's the one where you're going to go and look to see if there's 1, 2, or no triangles. So keeping in mind about that when you're given that information. So we did law of sines. How about law of cosines? I'm only going to write it one way, but know that you can switch up these letters, right? Where the side opposite the angle that you're using in this formula is equal to the other side squared plus the other side squared minus 2 times the side times the cosine of the angle opposite this guy. And this law of cosines you're going to use when you're given sassy or sneaky, right? A side angle side or side, side, side. Sassy or sneaky. That's law of cosines. And then we also did, are we finding, yep, we're going to find everything. So how about the area of a triangle? Well, we know it's equal to 1/2 base times height. That's if you were given the height. So if you're given a right triangle, then that will work. But if it's not a right triangle, another formula was 1/2 B times C times sine of angle A. And or if you're given the 3 sides, the other formula is Heron's formula, which is S times S minus A times S minus B times S minus C, where S is the semi-perimeter, 1/2 of A plus B plus C. Okay, those are all the formulas that you've done this chapter. We're going to use them all today. So let's do an example. In triangle ABC, side A is 30, side B is 60, and the measure of angle C is 23 degrees, 50 minutes. Mrs. Bright, what? We're going to find the missing, everything that's missing, right? So they gave me 2 sides, so I'm going to find the missing. There's one more side I need to find. They only gave me one angle. You're going to find the missing angles. And we're also going to find the area of the triangle. So we got lots to find this time. All right, so I'm going to start off by drawing the triangle because that's what I do. To me, that's what makes sense. And label it A, B, C, which means this is A, this is little b, this is little c. And side A is 30, side B is 60, and then angle C is 23 degrees, 50 minutes. And we need to find side C and the angles and all of that. All right, so to find side C, you were given a side angle side. That's a sassy triangle. Yeah. And so you're going to use, if you're given sassy, you are going to use law of cosines. Use law of cosines. All right, so, and it's little c we're finding, so that means that my formula for law of cosines would be side c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared minus 2 times a times b times the cosine of angle C, which they said was 23 degrees and 50 minutes. All right. Now, super important with these guys that you're going to end up using your store button on your calculator because you should not be rounding until the very end. So C will end up equaling the square root of that whole thing. And so that's what I'm going to put in my calculator. Make sure you're in degree mode. And let it show up. There we go. All right. So I got square root of 30 squared plus 60 squared minus 2 times 30 times 60 times the cosine of 23. And then I've shown you this before, but I know some of you in office hours are like, what was that again? So here we go. To do the minutes, degrees and minutes, you're going to hit this button right there, degrees, minutes, seconds. And right now the degree symbol is underlined, so you'll hit enter, and there you go. It showed 23 and then the degree symbol. And then do 50, hit that button again, degrees, minutes, seconds. And you'll see right next to it is the minutes. So I arrowed to the right so that it's underlined now, and I hit enter, and oh, look, there it is. Yay. All right, hit enter, and I get that side C is approximately 34.74, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to store it right now. Store it. It's not on your screen. I hit the stow button right there, S-T-O, stow. And then I've got all these letters, right? So apparently before I had stored a value under A because A is what's underlined. I'm going to hit enter right now. And now I have stored my answer as A, right? So I'm going to put C is approximately 34.741, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to store it under A. Yeah, and then, but I'm also, when I give my answer, I will say 34.74. But I'm storing that value because I'm going to end up using it. And if you don't store it, you'll end up like getting lots of wrong answers. So you'll be off on everything. All right, so now that I've got little c, and I know this guy, then I can find either angle B or angle A. Doesn't matter which one. I'm going to find angle A first, and you're going to use law of sines for that. Sine of angle A over side A is equal to sine of 23 degrees, 50 minutes, right, divided by side C is what we just found, and I'm going to do my stored value for little c, right? that stored value, which I have right there. All right, so what am I going to put in my calculator? Well, I need to solve for A, so I would need to multiply both sides by 30. Paper. Oh, come on now. All right. Multiply both sides by 30, and you'll have a 30 times sine of 23 degrees 50 minutes divided by that stored value for little c, right? And then to get A, you would want to take the inverse sine of that whole thing, and that's what's going to give you angle A. All right, so let's put it in our calculator. Okay, I've got inverse sine of 30 times sine of 23 degrees 50 minutes. Yeah, make sure you end the parenthesis there. As you started the sign, it started a parenthesis, right? Divided by, and then my stored C value, but I stored it under the letter A. I guess I should have done it under C. But how am I going to bring it back up? Well, if you click memvar, you'll see A is underlined right there with 34.74. That was my stored C value. Hit enter and then enter again, and it gives me that angle A is about 20.42. Now, if I was going to use that again, then I would store it, but I'm not going to need to use it. So there's angle A. For angle B, you know, the three angles in a triangle add up to 180. So we're just going to go 180 minus the 23 degrees 50 minutes minus the 20.42 degrees. And put that in our calculator. 180 minus 23 degrees 50 minutes minus, and you could do the stored value again, but it doesn't matter because we're going to be rounding at this point. So, and I get 135.746, which tells me round that 4 up to a 5. And so I've got 135.75 degrees. There's angle B. All right, so we found, did we find everything? We found the missing side for C. We found angle A, we found angle B, we had angle C. All right, the last thing I got to do is find the area of the triangle. And the area is 1/2 B times A times sine of angle C, which is 23 degrees and 50 minutes. So I should put parentheses around that too. All right, and then we'll put that in our calculator and go, I'll just do 0.5 times 60. No, that's not how you do it. Times 60 times 30 times sine of, maybe the 23 degrees and 50 minutes I should have stored, because man, how many times? That's a lot of buttons to put that in, right? You could store that and then you could just keep on hitting it, right? All right, I got, the area is 363.669. I'm going to round to 2 decimal places, and so 363.67. Technically units squared units, but whatever, don't care. All right, there we go. Nice. All right, let's do another example. How about in triangle ABC, if side A is 5 and side B is 7, and the measure of angle A is now 126 degrees 40 minutes. We're going to find the missing parts and the area. All right, so let's draw it. A, B, C. I've got side A is 5, side B is 7, and this time it gave me angle A. So what did they give me? You go around, you were given angle side side or side side angle, so that way we don't curse, right? You are given the pain in your butt one. Yeah. So you're going to use law of sines, but keeping in mind it is the ambiguous case. The ambiguous case, which means you've got to check for there's either going to be 1, 2, or no triangle. And you're just keeping that in mind. All right, so let's do this. We're going to use law of sines. Let's go with we've got to find angle B first. Yeah. So sine of angle B over side B is equal to sine of 126 degrees 40 minutes over 5. And when I go to solve that, you're going to multiply both sides by 7. Willy-nilly added zeros. Don't know why. 40 minutes. Okay, so I multiplied by 7. And then you want to take the inverse sine, both sides, so that angle B ends up giving you inverse sine of 7, blah, blah, blah. All right, so let's put that in our calculator. Got inverse sine of 7 times sine of 126 degrees 40 minutes. Boop, boop, boop. And the parenthesis, because that was sine of that angle, and then divided by 5. And what? Domain error. All right, so I would definitely make sure that you didn't drop off parentheses, right? Because if you did, you could end up with something crazy. But why did I get domain error? Well, let's go back to, can I be lazy and just delete this part? No, damn it. Darn it, I mean, how about if I delete? Okay, nice. All right, so what I did was I deleted the inverse sine part just so that I didn't have to type all this back in because, man, that's a pain in the butt. What does that equal? 7 times sine of 126 degrees and 40 minutes divided by 5. That is 1.12. And you remember how sine of an angle has to be between 1 and -1? So that's what's giving you your domain error. And so what does that mean? No triangle exists with this given information. The sides won't match up and actually connect a triangle. So there you go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. We didn't even have to find anything. Gotta love it, right? So even though it's a pain in your butt one, sometimes it's easy, right? And you don't have to find anything. Nice. All right. Let's do another example. Okay. The last one. In triangle ABC, let's say side A is 6 and side B is 10, and the measure of angle A is 31 degrees and 10 minutes. Let's find the missing parts and the area. All right, so draw a triangle A, B, C, and side A is 6, side B is 10, and the measure of angle A is 31 degrees and 10 minutes. Side, angle. Dang it. I guarantee you we're not going to get an easy one like no triangle again. All right, given side, angle, you're going to use law of sines, but ambiguous case, so beware, right? Beware of, you could have 1, 2, or no triangles. All right, so let's start by finding angle B. So sine of angle B over 10 is equal to sine of 31 degrees 10 minutes over 6. And then you'll multiply both sides by 10. and then take the inverse sign so that that's what angle B will equal. All right, so let's see. I've got inverse sine of 10 times sine of 31 degrees, 10 minutes, and that parenthesis, and then divided by 6. And I get 59.603, blah, blah, blah. Technically, I should store that. We're just gonna be lazy. All right, there we go. 59.6. Now, I got an answer. So that means it's not the no triangle type, right? Remember, ambiguous case means there are 1, 2, or no triangle, right, that fits the information. Since I got an answer for angle B, I didn't get domain error. That means that there is at least, so we don't have this option anymore now. We either have 1 or 2. So you have to check if there's a second triangle, right? So if there is, then B will be the supplement. The second triangle would be the supplement of it, right? So 180 minus 59.6. And that gives me 120.4 degrees. Okay, 0.40, whatever. Okay, so I'm going to draw the two triangles and see if both of them work or not. Remember, where you find out if they work or not is when you go to find angle C. And if you get a positive angle for angle C, then we know that there's two triangles. All right, so we got A, B, C, A, B, C. All right, so now what doesn't change is the information they gave me to begin with, right? Angle A is 31 degrees, 10 minutes. Angle A is 31 degrees, 10 minutes, no matter on both triangles. Side A is 6 on both triangles, and side B is 10 on both triangles. So the information they gave us is the same for both of the triangles. What's different is in one triangle, I've got 59.6 degrees for angle B, and in the other triangle, I've got 120.4 degrees. That's what's different between the two. All right, so if there are, so on this one, B was 59.6 degrees, right? And on this one, B was 120.4 degrees. All right, so now let's find angle C. So angle C is just going to be 180 minus the 31 degrees, 10 minutes, and minus the 59.6. What does that give me? 180 minus 31. Minus 59.6. And that gives me 89.23. Yeah, so we for sure have these, right? This and that. That's for sure, because the first triangle is definitely going to happen. What we're not sure on is let's see where I can put this and you can still see everything. There's not. Okay. So this is the triangle I'm not sure about, right? And it will exist as long as I can get a positive value for angle C. And so if this triangle exists, then that means that angle C will be 180 minus the 31 degrees, 10 minutes, minus the 120.4. And let's see what happens. Oh, I should have here. Let me go up. I'm going to be lazy. If I arrow up, I still have the 180 minus the 31 degrees, 10 minutes. I don't have to type all that in again. Yay. And then minus, and then it's 120.4. Okay, there's my laziness. All right. Oh, man. We got a positive angle for angle C, right? So what does that mean? That means there are two triangles. So we got that. We got that. Yeah. All right. So now I do definitely have two triangles. We got to find the missing information. I found angle C now. So the last thing I got to do is find side C. Side C. And to find side C, given this, you can use law of sines. So, and this is the one where it's side C I'm looking for, so I'm going to put it up top. Times sine of angle C was 89.23 degrees. And that's equal to 6 over sine of 31 degrees, 10 minutes. Notice that I didn't use my approximated value. I used the info they gave me, right? Because I already have to approximate here. I'm not going to use angle B's approximation and just make it even worse. Your answers will be even more off if you're doing that. So to solve for side C, you just need to multiply both sides by the denominator here. So side C is now 6 times sine of 89.23 degrees over sine of 31 degrees, 10 minutes. And so 6 times sine of 89.23 and your parentheses, and then divided by sine of 31 degrees, 10. So annoying. Whatever. Boop. What do I get? 11.592. All right, so C is about 11.59. Good. Area of this triangle will be 1/2 times 6 times 10 times the sine of 31. Nope. Times sine of 6, 10, angle C. We have B. We have A and B, and then angle C. So not the 31. We need sine of angle C was 89.23. On here, you had to round somewhere. So I chose that one. You could have, I guess, done, see, if you would have used your approximation for side C and side B, and then you would use angle A that's in between. You could have used B and used C and A as the sides. There's lots of ways of doing it, but you're not going to get around without a rounded answer somewhere. So that's all right. Okay, so we got 0.5 times 6 times 10 times sine of 89.23, which is really, okay, 29.997. All right, I'm just going to go 30. Yeah, because you go to do 2 decimal places and you're going to round up, which then makes it round up, which then makes it round up. So 30.00 if you're going to 2 decimal places, whatever, doesn't matter. Okay, that was the first triangle. Second triangle, I've already got angle B and angle C. Let's find, I guess I should have been more clear. These are angles, angle. All right, we need to find side C. So this time it's side C over sine of 28.43 this time. I'm using this angle C and set that equal to the 6 over sine of 31 degrees, 10 minutes. And side C will be 6 times sine of 28.43 degrees over sine of 31 degrees and 10 minutes. 6 times sine of 28.43 and that parenthesis, right, divided by sine of, all right, it might be worth it to store it because, man, oh man. There we go. So side C is about 5.52. There we go. And now the area of this guy would be 1/2 times 6 times 10 times sine of angle C. So you're going doot, doot, doot. Sine of angle C was 28.43. All right, so I got 0.5 times 6 times 10 times sine of 28.43. 14.282, which means I'm going to say it's about 14.28 square units, right? All right. Yay. That's it for section 6. You got this. Come see me in office hours if you're having questions. Come on. And one of these days it'll be nice to me. All right. Have a good day. Bye.